So hello guys, I think the streaming is started. Now let's wait. I'm basically waiting for the okay. Now I can see that we started the streaming, but I think there is no video. Okay, yeah, we got everything. Yeah, so we are live now, and let me share the link. Yep. Okay, so today I'm basically streaming myself as well. I mean with webcam, of course. So let's look at what we are going to cover today. So in last 2 or 3 videos I basically covered the basic setup of Python environments and other things. I mean there are a lot of and other things. So now today we are going to look at some of the topics like okay, so in this video I'm going to cover Python command line arguments and file IO. And so let's start these topics, and then we will see next things. So this is the basically command line argument, Python command line arguments. Let me do something. So okay, so let's try to understand what is command line argument. So command line argument basically is when you use a CLI command tool, then in that case sometimes we have to provide the argument, or okay, with the in order to run that command properly, or in order to give that command line tool some input, user input, we have to provide command line arguments. So these are basically command line arguments. And yeah, so we are basically looking at that thing. And okay, I got another message from phone, and the stream bit. Okay, no worries. So let's start with the coding itself. So this is basically a simple example. Okay, so module we are going to use for command line argument is sys module, available in Python, or there are also advanced modules like get opt. And but one of my favorite, or which I frequently use for command line argument, is argparse library. So this is argparse is like a one-stop shop for every kind of command argument parsing. Whether you have to do multi-level parsing means, okay, so multi-level means you can parse multiple arguments in it's kind of layer in multiple layers. So this is really advanced stuff, really advanced way of parsing command line arguments. So suppose you are basically writing a framework kind of tool, big tool, and there are subcategory of tools like okay, so in order to provide those the inputs to that subcategories of tools, you need to use multi-layer. What can I say, it's not multi-layer is not the correct word, but it's like that. Okay, so we will see that by example. And let's start with the simple tool. Okay, so now let's go to the coding lab for directory. Where is the Python basics? Here it is. And now let's start writing code. Okay, so also one more thing I have done yesterday. Let me open the nvim first, and I'm still working on the error, guys, which so these are the error I have to work. I don't know how to mitigate these errors. I was reading a lot of blog posts regarding the nvim setup, but didn't find any solution yet, but I'm gonna work on Sunday. Okay, so let's create another branch for today. Yeah, actually I created for day 3 branch, that only everything is committed. Now we are gonna start our fresh work in this repo, not repo, branch actually. Today I'm gonna push all this code into the GitHub as well. So if somebody wanna copy this code, then they can. Now let's create another file. Okay, I have to go here, a num cmdl 01.py. This should be the right. Okay, now let's first import. Now we are gonna first experiment with the sys library. It's a basically system library. Now let's write a simple main function. Okay, and we have to write another if name, which is gonna I explained this thing yesterday, guys, so you can look at that video of that day if somebody have any questions regarding this. This is basically simple so okay, so it's basically you have to write these things on each Python code in order to execute it as a main function. So let's okay, so let's print. First of all, let's print this is okay, sys.args. so this is basically the main variable which holds all the argument, and everything looks good. These are just okay guys, these are just warnings, it's nothing to do with other things. Okay, I also have to put 2 lines. Yep, now everything looks clean. Now let's open a terminal and then execute the code sorry, python 3 cmdl1. yeah, okay, so there are errors. Okay, so the one mistake I have done is here argv. I think actually I didn't wrote this kind of program for since a long time, so that's why it's a little bit confusing. Yep, this time it works. Okay, so okay, so let's look at the documentation itself. Okay, for python 3 where can we look at this? Okay, let's open another terminal, and in this terminal I'm gonna start ipython 3 and then here help. Okay, first we have to import sys and then hlp sys. yeah, it's not that cool, actually not good looking, but who cares. Okay, so sys, okay, no, yeah, so if you can see here, then sys the dynamic of here argv command line arguments. Okay, so argv basically contains all the command line argument in a list. So if we you can see that if we run this file, then it gives the output as cm file name itself. So in the 0 index, the sys.argv contains the file name itself. Okay, and now let's give some argument to the program. Now let's put some my name. Okay, so as you can see, the second variable which that list hold is the first argument. Now if you give third argument, suppose an integer value, then it's in third place. Fourth argument, let's give floating point value. Oops, it's again integer. Now this is the full floating point value, and so if you are we can give it the values continuously, and it is going to show that in this particular manner. So let's jump back to the option and let's store this argument. Okay, so there is another thing we can do here. Let's still do this, or yeah, let's do this. Now let's write a small example, code example. argline equal len sys dot argv. It's so basically arglen is going to store the length of the total number of the arguments, and we are going to use for loop for I in. Okay, so yeah, sys dot no. Okay, I'm a little bit okay. Let me look at some example. Sorry, that's the problem with me. I feel sleepy a lot. It's almost 11:14. That's why I'm feeling a little bit tired, you can say. sys.rgv. Okay, how to loop through Python. One minute, guys. So what we have to do here? Okay, so I'm gonna basically loop through the file itself. It is taking a little bit time, so where it is the link, Python link. Okay, no. Okay, so we can do more thing. Okay, so in this time we are gonna iterate that on by using the for loop. So for I in arglen, okay, so we can do one more thing. I don't think we need this len for I in sys dot argv. Yep, because it's a list. Print I. Okay, no, I don't want to put this, right? I think it's there are a little bit problem, but let's execute it in any case. Yep, that's how it works. Actually, I didn't code in Python for a long time. I think, yeah, it's been 6 months. I was using in my job I am basically using different languages other than Python, so that's why I forget. I actually not forget, I had to look at the documentation. It's kind of cheating, but what can I say, what can I do? So yeah, this is the basically loop. So this is basically going to iterate over all the arguments which we basically provide to the code. So let's do some random inputs. Yep, so what the program is doing, it's basically, so sys.argv basically store all the arguments, and with for loop we are basically printing it. Yep, now let's look at some of the good examples. Now let's build a small project, like provide your name and it will gonna print your name, right, with this code. So for that, let's delete all these things now. Okay, so first we are gonna check the code. so arg len. So first we are going to check if the length of the arg is sufficient or not. So len sys.argv. Yep, so this is sys.argv, and after getting the len, let's we have to fetch the first argument, so which will be flag is equal to, okay, first we check if there is a flag or not. If arg okay, sys.argv gv is not equal to dash n or okay, yeah, dash n means name, then print flag and name flag not found. Okay, then we have to exit sys.exit with status course 1, and if the now after checking this we have to check else if okay, no, it's gonna be exit, all right. Else, yeah, else if sys.argv okay, argv, there should be argv1, right? If sys.argv2 is if not is empty is equal to null, then print name value is not provided sys.exit. Oops, now it's looking good. Let's execute the code. I'm sure there are a lot of errors. Okay, sys.argv2, what's the error here? Yep, I know the error. If sys.argv2 is equal okay, I forgot something here. Now it's cool. Okay, now it's good. Now let's cmd l1.py, and there is another error. Yep, I know again where I did mistake where I have done the mistake, and then run it again. Okay, so what's the error here? List index is out of range. Yep, I know. Okay, so I have to check, I have to put another check here. I know what's the error. elif, yeah, and we have to use another if there. If okay, I think I don't have to store this. If len is not equal to is equal to 0 1 1, sorry. Then print no arguments provided, because if len is 1, then definitely there is no other arguments and code will be exited automatically. 1, yep. And if len, why, okay, let's copy this line again instead of writing multiple times. elif and sys is not equal to, okay, and we have to copy the same argument here as well. Let's delete this line. Is equal to 2 and is not equal, is 2 is equal to blank, equal to, sign should be equal to here, and okay, no name value is provided. Else sys dot, okay, if all the above checks are passed, then everything will be fine. So let's print the name here, hello sys.argv1. I think this logic should be working. You are a programmer, just write anything. Okay, looks good. Now let's jump to our console. Yep, it's working. Okay, so we can put more thing to beautify our code. It looks cool actually. Gonna contribute to nothing, but it looks really cool. I wrote a lot of tools like this when I used to write code in Python, but not anymore, at least in this new job. Okay, but still it's important to learn things. Okay. Now let's clear. No, just don't clear. Okay, now we didn't provide any argument, so it is expected. Now let's provide only n, and there is another error. So what it's saying this time, okay, 8 line number 19 module sys.rgv. okay, oops, I know where the mistake I have done. Okay, so it's another mistake. Okay, len is equal 1. No, why is showing mistake here? Okay, oh, 1 2 0 1 2. Why it's showing the error? It should be exited at that point. And sys.rgv2. okay, so I find another error in the loop, in the it's a very new actually. So what is happening here? First, okay, so we passed this check because len sys.argv is equal to 1, and we also provided the argument. Okay, and in the second check it's basically failing here, right? So after this, so according to my logic, after the code checks the length of the total number of argument, it should be exited, but it's not because we put and there, right? So what happened in and operation, as you know, in order to pass the check, both of these statements should be true. but if first statement is false, then it should be stopped. So then the program should not be checking the second case. But what is happening, even the total statement is false, first statement is false, the code is still evaluating the second part, right? So that's why we are getting this error, list index is out of range. Yep. So we have to solve it. Okay, let's okay, if 1 is 1, it is true, that's why it is not giving false. But in this case, okay, I made a big mistake. Okay, yeah, not a big mistake, we don't have to provide all these things. Let's do one thing, clear this one, it looks very bad also. So we are going to clear all these things. Now it's looking good. Now we can only check it once. Here if we can use here if, and we can use there elif. Yeah, that's right, looks good to me. And multiple space after keyword, where, okay, these warning are never gonna end. So if sys.argv is 1, then no arguments provided, and elif okay, and elif name flag not found. Okay, elif here should be, we are going to check the length of the sys if len and sys dot argv is not equal to 2, then print what we are gonna print here, or arg len len sys dot argv. Yep. Now instead of arg len we can put this as well. Why are we going to call this same argument multiple times? arg len, yeah, it's look good. Actually it's not the standard way, but I'm just trying to explain you how things works without the argparse library. Oops, there another mistake I have found. Now you can print argument missing, minus, oops, arguments missing, arguments missing. Yep. Now let's run the code. Now there is another error. What happens this time? Okay, I know, I forget one thing, we have to put this code here also. Oops. Now let's run. Yep, now this time it's working. So if we run the program without the arguments, then it's print that. And if we provide only one program and it again break, where is breaking this time? Line number 15, sys.argv equal blank. List out of index, list error out of index. Why is it again checking this? It should be exited after that line. Is not equal to 2. Okay, I made another mistake, logical mistake. Yeah, it should be 3. Now let's execute that. Yep, it's working. Now let's put Ajay. Yeah, so that's how it's supposed to work. So what is happening if I run the program with only the code name, then it shows like this, something like this, right? This. What is happening this time? Why it got hanged? Okay, it got stuck somewhere. Yeah, so without the argument it shows like this. And if I only provide one n, then it shows like this. Okay, this statement is getting executed. And if I provide the name, then it's going to print that name as well. But what happens if we provide extra argument? It's not going to print anything, or arguments missing, because the total number of argument is greater than 3, right? And according to our logic, if arglen is not equal to 3, even if it's greater than or less than, then it's going to print this one. So this is how it works. Now we can add another thing. Let's add banner here, which basically going to print how the argument are supposed to. It's basically helping banner. Yep. Print so example use case usage. So it's basically going to explain how you are supposed to provide the arguments. Print sys, okay, if sys.argv 0, which is program name, then you should provide flag n, and then input string or named string, name input string or anything. Yep, that is our standard thing. And after that it's going to return. Let's put another /n. No, don't, because the code is obviously gonna add that. Now here, okay, we'll do that modification later, but you have to put it every place. Banner, yeah, here we have to give, oops, what is this? Banner, here we also have to give banner, and here we also have to give banner. What? Why it's not deleting, man? Yep, it looks good. Now let's run the program. CLS and without argument. Yep, okay. So in order to look good, we have to, okay, so let's delete this for namesake. You have to provide /n and /n here as well, so it's look good. So if we run the run our code without the what is this, so without the argument, then it's basically gonna print the explanation that how the program command line tool is supposed to run, or how we supposed to provide argument to this command line tool. And now let's provide name, then it's gonna print the error message as well and how to use it. So argument missing and name, okay, and explanation. Now if you provide name, then it's gonna obviously print out the string without any error. Now if you provide another argument, then it's gonna throw the error again. Okay, so that's how it works, like, guys. So as you can see, it's a little bit trickier, right, with sys.org, sys.argv command. Now if we try to write the same thing with the argparse, suppose argparse library, then we don't have to do that much of work with the argparse, because someone else does already done that with that library. So let's write the same program with the argparse library. I assure you that it is going to be very easy. We don't have to do that kind of logic building on the code. So now let's create another file. We are gonna name this to cmdl2 and import argparse, yeah, and fmain. Let's copy the code from the older, at least the banner part. No, this is not the one. This is the one. Copy this one as well. Now let's write code here. Okay, it's very simple if you know how to use all these things, or you don't have to. You can find everything on the documentation itself. So let's start the writing code here. Parser. So first we have to create a object with the argparse library itself. Argument parser. Oops. Not the duck. Yep, everything is right, looking fine. Parser, you can find this on the documentation itself, but I'm just gonna explain how things work. Parser argument. Now here we have to provide the flag, right, in the parser argument name. So these are two flags. Either you can use any one of them. Either you can go with the n-n or double dash name. It's just for reference purpose. There's nothing. It also, remember that it's not mandatory that you have to provide two flags. You can also go with the one itself, either this one or this single one, but it's handy to provide two, right? Because I don't know, but a lot of command line tool I have used, these all this year have two flags. I don't know what's the reason behind that. So help, we are gonna explain what kind of data needs to be provided with this particular argument. and after that we have to provide other things also. Oh, I'm sorry guys, it's a little bit late at night, so I'm feeling a little bit sleepy. Okay, name name you want to print, name you want to print as string. Okay, now there is another argument required, whether this particular argument is mandatory or required or not, so we are gonna set it for true. Yeah, we need this, and we can also set type as well. Yeah, type should be string. It is also handy. I think string, s should be capital, or str. No, str is not gonna work. Type string. Yeah, no, it's not warning, I think it's error. Yeah. Yep, I think I have to import sys library as well, because we are utilizing that library in the banner function, and everything looks fine. str should be fine here. I think it's just a warning, right? Yeah. What's this error, man? Line, what is here? Yep, required true. Everything looks fine here to me, or is this the problem? Type should be str. Let's try with this, and after that we have to parse this argument, right? Okay, args equal to parser dot parse args. Yep, this one is the right function. Now okay, let's just print all the arguments, right? I think args gonna print all the arguments. I don't know. Let's try this one. Yep, everything looks fine. Now let's go to the console, change the program name, and then execute. Yep, there is an error. Okay, type should be string, I think. Oops, it's different program, guys. Where I okay, let's remove that last parameter, and let's look how it's gonna work. Yep, it's working fine. So as you can see, in this time we don't have to use, okay, I mistakenly put the banner function as well. Let's remove that. We don't have to do this kind of. Also, if we don't need banner flag, then we also don't need sys library. Now let's run it again. It will going to give the same output. So as you can see, it's basically in the first line it's explaining how the number of arguments we have to provide, and what type of the argument we have to provide. And okay, if you see here, then we can, it's also show the h option, right? -h. Let's clear the let's clear the screen first. Oops, there are some problem. Let's close the terminal. Or resize it. CLS, yeah. So let's provide -h. So it's gonna print the details, right? Let's increase the size. Oops, what I'm going to do, what am I gonna doing? Yep. So if you run the code with -h options, then first it is printing the use, and then it's basically explaining how many flags the program needs to run successfully. Okay, so h is basically help, which is created by the argparse library, and this is our flag, which we basically defined at this line, right? So it's very easy, guys. You can compare both of the program by yourself, that it's really easy to create command line arguments with the argparse. So I recommend you to use this one if you are gonna write your own tools. I use only this tool, this library, sorry. Now let's give the name. Yep. Okay, so why it's printing like that? Because we are not parsing the argument properly, right? We just print all the arguments. Now let's try if we give the program extra arguments, what it's gonna do. It's basically throwing an error, because for the third argument we didn't define any kind of parser, right? I mean, we didn't instruct the program to how to parse the third argument. That's why it's throwing the error. And let's print the name properly, as we have done in the last program. And I forget how we done that. Yeah, this is the code. Let's paste it here. Yep. Print f hello, yeah, arch name. So it's simple as that, guys. So why name, right? So name, it's take name because this option, name. And if we remove this one, then you can basically access the argument by -n only. We will try that, but first let's execute this code. Yep, that's how it works. It's looking really cool as well. Let's provide a quoted string inside double quote. Yep, it's printing it. But if we remove the double quote, then it's gonna obviously going to throw inner. And another spelling mistake, because the Python code treat is as a 3 separate arguments instead of 1. And again, if you put the bracket, then it's gonna, yeah, print it as expected. So okay, so we are gonna test. So what happen if we remove this, like this? So if we remove this, then we also have to change this one. Oops. And let's print this. Yep. So if you are in this place, if you are going to use only -n or single character flag identifier, then just put that single character, or in my case I previously used the name. So it's if you use this type of identifier, then it's obviously going to be easy to identify at the time of use of that particular argument. So I recommend you to do this, right? Yep. So this is so guys, we look at the two example of how command line argument parsing works in Python. For more complicated example, you can look at my blog. So these are the simple examples which we and there is another library GetOpt, but I didn't explain that, but you can look it from here. So this is the example, and for more examples you can look at the blog. For example, this is the type, right? This is the type int. Okay, let's try this one. So if we give the argument as an integer, it obviously gonna take, because we didn't put any filter. So now let's put okay, last time I think I forget this comma. Let's do this again. So we are gonna take the type as a string. Okay, so there is the types. str should be fine. Yep. And we have to put comma here as well. Now let's try this. It's working, and with integer it's also working. Why? Okay. So it's basically not differentiating between integer and okay, let's make it more complicated, right? Oops, not complicated, but we have to add some extra arguments just in order to prove that one. Oops. Now let's put other parser definitions, other argument definitions. X HELP first number to add required true. Type should be integer and this should be y. So what we are going to do, we are basically going to add these two number and let's parse them. Answer. Okay, so we are not gonna do a lot of stuff here. Plus the addition of args dot x and args dot y is args dot x plus args dot y. That should be enough, I think. And now let's go here, and if we run, then it's gonna show a lot of errors because we didn't provide a lot of arguments. Now let's clear the screen. I'm in terminal and then execute the code. Name, oops, forget something. Okay, Ajay Kumar. X should be 10, y should be 20, and there is another error. Oops, I forget one more thing. Hyphen. Okay, spelling error. Yep, typo. Now let's try it again. I'm sure it will gonna throw more errors or not. Yep. So as you can see, it's basically adding two numbers, 10 and 20 to 30. Now let's provide some string here. Yep, and it's throwing error, right? Because it place of y we provided string as compared to integer, and the program is basically expecting an integer value. So obviously it's gonna throw some error and our terminal is again hanged. I don't know why it's happening today. Let's close this. Yep, it's came back again. Okay, so let's provide integer here, and here we provide string hello. Yep, it's failed again. Now let's provide it string integer as well. Now it's working. Suppose, and let's try to provide a floating point number 2.4. Yep, let's change that according to our output, I mean error. Okay, let's change this. Oops, there are trailing characters. Float 080, and now if we run this one again, then it's gonna work because it is expecting float at the place of y, that's why. Now let's change it again to integer, and it's gonna work again. Yep, so that's how the command line argument parsing works in Python. So I think it's enough for the explanation purpose. And yeah, so if you so also there are some boolean based or true false based value you can also define. For example, verbose, and I think you already know what verbose means. Verbose means showing the logs or details in the output itself. So it's basically yeah, so that's what verbose means. So if you set v in the command line, so it is basically going to store true, right, in the parser itself, verbose parser. So that's how it works. And so you can look at this example, and this is another one, combination of positional and okay. So there are multiple types of options: positional arguments, optional arguments, right? Positional arguments means which is necessary, without it you can't do anything, like. So that's how it works, guys. You can look at more examples in these. Okay, so this is subparsers means subparsers allow for different arguments to be permitted based on command option being run. It shows more options based on the given commands. Now okay, so look, you can look at this example for subparsing. Now let's look at some of the file IO examples, and then we are gonna close today's video because it's already late, I think 12, and tomorrow I have to go to office, that's why. And file IO, this is file object. Okay, so these are basically access modes, right? Read means read, RB means read binary, RB plus means you can read binary as well as write, W means write, W means B means write binary, WB plus means you can write binary, read binary, you can do anything, plus means you can do anything, A means append, AB means append binary, A plus means you can append, write, read and do anything, AB plus meaning you can append, write, read in a binary file. So that's the basic thing. Now in Python, first we have to open a file and create an object for that, and the mode should be in open function, first argument should be file name and then second is access mode. So you can give any one of these in access mode, right? And after reading you also have to close the file, right? So that file object and close function, call the close function with that particular object. And this is basically opening and closing, how to open and close the file, and reading file. So there is a function called read which comes with the file IO. and number of bytes you can provide. So as you can see, sorry, this is file open file.txt read. You are going to read 20 lines, and then file.txt read. It's basically going to read the whole file, I think. Yeah. And this is write and string. Okay, so this is basically a basic example. And this is RB, means read binary. And okay, so what is happening here? Okay, this is cool example, we will look at it. Okay, so let's look at some of the example, then we are gonna wrap up for today because it's already 12. Yeah. So we can, instead of writing a code, we are gonna do that somewhere else. Yeah, we can do it here. Let's me go to the code lab. Where is the code lab? Dev labs. Yeah. Python basics. Oops, not this one. Python basics. Yeah. Let me create a folder, file IO. Now we can do it here. Am I in the right directory or not? Yep, I am in the right directory. So let's create a sample file. Go hello world. This is sample file. f1.txt. Yep. Now let's read this file with the Python itself. So first we have to create a object, read object, file with name file f1.txt, and the access mode should be read. Oops, what's the problem here? Oops, not f2 bro, f1. Yep. Now now in order to read, we have to use the read function, and it's basically showing us the output. We can store that output into another file. And now let's create a copy of the same file, right? So for that we have to, now let's close the file dot close. Yep. Now let's open another file buffer, open f2.txt. we are basically going to copy all the content of the file, because as you know, we stored that the content of file 1 into the, oops, and there is nothing. Why there is nothing in data? Okay, so I forget to tell you that there is a thing called seek, right? Seek means it's basically a pointer to the file. So the first time we basically run the seek, it's pointed to the end of toward the end of the file. Okay, after this execution, and in the next execution there is nothing in the data, so that's why. So let's repeat the whole process. Let the file 1 pointer like that, read file dot read. Okay, and if we again execute, okay, let me look at how to reset the, okay, oops, how to reset the file dot read C20. Okay, so this is the thing I'm looking for. It's interesting thing which I totally forget about. Okay, so now let's this time store the file data. Now it's stored. Now let's close the first file. Dot close. We are okay. So as you can see, we are already opened the file 1, f2.txt, and the object is file 1. So now let's write everything on file 1. File 1 dot write and data. Yep. Now close the file 1. File 1 dot close. And if we are going to use the get command to look at the content of file 2, then we can see all the data from file 1 is copied into the file 2, right? Let's so this is how it works, guys. So this is simple read and write operation. Now let's, by the using the same thing, we can create a copy of an image as well. So let's find some image and then create a copy. This is the cool image. Let's download this one. It's svg, I think. It's okay. wget svg. Oops. why. Let's save this image into the where we have to save it. Okay, I think you get the idea, right? How to read and write binary files. It's a same process. So instead of using the w, we have to use wb, and in read, instead of using r, we have to use rb. I mean binary. So this is the same thing. So I think it's more than enough explanation for today. Now I think it's completed for today. Now tomorrow we are gonna look at some other examples like data types. No, I think I will complete it today only. Let's go to the top of the page. Home. Where is the home button? Okay, here it is. So today we looked at Python command line argument and file IO. Okay, so all these things are basically theory, and I don't want to indulge too much on that because most of you are already familiar with these things. I mean these variables and loops, etc. Now let's go through these data types and typecasting for today. So data types. So there are basically these data types, built-in data types, numeric types, int, float, complex, string type, str, sequence types, list, tuple, range, mapping types, dictionary. It's basically nothing but has map, right? You already have, if you have done some coding on Java or other languages, Java or .NET, then it's kind of has map or JSON, and it's okay. And set is an frozen set. It's a new thing, we will look at it. And this is the list, tuple, range. It's kind of array, and tuple is like an array but with some extra functionality. And this is boolean type, and binary types, byte array, memory view, and the type function is basically used to check the variable type. Okay, and this numeric type. Okay, so this is, I think, the details of how things works. Okay, let's look at the typecasting directly. Typecasting means changing from one type to another. So this is how you work. Okay, so I think we will look at tomorrow, right? Yeah, we will look at tomorrow definitely. It's also important, especially the data type. I'd look at the data type, okay, and typecasting as well, and we'll try to complete all these 4 sections tomorrow. Now from here, these are the important things: multiprocessing, multi-threading, submodules, oops, file and dictionary handling, sorry, directory handling, Python. Okay, let's look at the Python module. So okay, so it's basically how to write module based code, module based code, Python packages, servers. Yep, these are also very important. Sorry, module called logging. It's very useful. Okay, so we are gonna complete this from all these things in this month only, and from the next month we are gonna write tools. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna stop the streaming today. So okay, we'll meet tomorrow.